In this video, I'm going to talk about how to write out the results from a Spearman's rank order correlation in Jamovi, or from Jamovi output into APA style. And I'm going to show notation and then results. Something to note for results is that you can always, there's some different ways of writing it. So this is just one example of how you can write it, but I'm going to highlight what information you should include. So for Spearman's row, that's what this fancy looking little P is. That's the Greek symbol row. And so for APA format, you would write RS in italics, it's italics, and then inside your parentheses, you're going to use degrees of freedom, and then you'll say equals the actual R value, and then you'll report your P value and the actual number here. Now, a note on P values is that people report them a little bit differently. I want you to report the actual number. Sometimes people just say P is less than 0.05 or P is greater than 0.05, but I want you to be specific. If the P value is really, really small, you can put less than 0.001 or less than 0.01. If the P value is larger than 0.05, just write whatever the number is. And then if the P value is smaller than 0.05, again, just write whatever the number is. So if your p-value is something like 0.04999, it's technically still less than 0.05. And so for that, you could write p is less than 0.05, or you could use more decimals. You just typically want to be consistent with the number of numbers after the decimal for APA style. So here, these were the results that we found, and then I just have the APA results here as a reminder. So you would just find this information. So RS, our degrees of freedom, is 33. So you would put that in the parentheses here. And then you would put the actual Spearman's row value. So that would be 0.01. And then you'd put your comma and your p-value. And that p-value is just going to go right there, 0.53. So that part is standard APA style, and by communicating that way, other people are able to very quickly, other scientists are very quickly able to read your results and understand what you found. Now, the next part is a little bit more flexible. So you can kind of write this in different ways. This is just an example. Spearman's rank order correlation, you do always want to identify the type of test. So you should be very clear about the type of test that you conducted. So Spearman's rank order correlation determined there was no significant negative relationship. So this, again, you want to be very clear about significant, not significant. I specifically was talking about my hypothesis, so said I did not find a significant negative relationship. You want to identify your variables. And here, this is a little different. So I have course satisfaction rating, and I just reported the median, so the middle value, because you're not supposed to do a mean when you have an ordinal variable. So for this, I would report the median value, and that median value was a 4. But that means that it's satisfied. That's the category that you're referring to. And so you want to use the name of the category that you're talking about for the course satisfaction rating. And then the same thing for the other variable. We have, the name of the variable, what we're measuring, and then I identified the median for that variable. And for undergraduate students at Fresno State, and then I like to do a comma and then report the APA style results. I've seen it other ways, so you could, certainly report it in brackets or in a different way. I prefer this method. So again, this is just the notation here. We have the RS, it's italicized, degrees of freedom, the actual RS value, and then our P value. So that is how I report APA style for Spearman's row, and I will see you later.